Hello everyone, this is Norma Woodcock speaking to you from Perth in Western Australia. I'd like to speak into the readings for the 30th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year C. And the theme today is Come As You Are. In Luke's Gospel, Jesus tells the story about the Pharisee and the tax collector, and you know the story well. The Pharisee is sitting on the front row saying, I am better than all these people because I give my tenth of mint and I tithe on this and I do this and I do that. And at the very back of the temple was this tax collector saying, Lord, have mercy upon me, a sinner. You know, I was such a Pharisee. I had such excessive legalism because that's what being Pharisaical is all about, being too legalistic about everything. And I can remember feeling like my husband's prayer life wasn't as good as mine because I would get up early and I would pray at the crack of dawn and he didn't. And he'd go down the beach and go beach fishing, and he told me he would talk to the man upstairs while he was beach fishing. And thanks be to God, I think I've changed a bit since then. But I really do remember looking down on him because I felt he wasn't as good as me. And you see, that's what legalism does. Legalism makes us try to earn God's love by being good, being perfect, getting it right every time. And yet Jesus is telling us a story. It's the humble prayer of this tax collector at the back of the temple that justified him before God. You know, in my Pharisaical ways, many, many years ago, maybe 20, I had a retreat given to me by a Carmelite priest, and I think he picked up those Pharisaical tendencies in me, and he wanted to get at it. And I was talking about, you know, my prayer and my early prayer and how close I felt to God, and I just felt that God was, you know, reaching me in this deep contemplative prayer. And he told me the story about an alcoholic prostitute who used to go down to the local bar and drink, and God would be there in the bar touching her with mystical graces and touches of consolation. And I can remember actually thinking in my heart, how can that be? That can't be right. God wouldn't do that. And he was saying it for a purpose because he was actually telling me that what God looks at is the heart. The heart. And how many times with that alcoholic prostitute, we don't know, but how many times did she cry out to God and say, I want to get out of this life. I don't want to be like this. And if you're watching today, I guess what I'm saying is be that humble person before God and allow him to enter into your humanity. Allow him to enter into your nothingness, as I have tried to do, your nothingness, because God is our everything. You know, Psalm tells us the Lord hears the cry of the poor. And so notice when legalism creeps in. Notice when you're acting like a Pharisee in your heart towards others, thinking that you're better than them, and allow God to bring you to a place where you know who you are before him. St. Francis of Assisi said, I am who I am before God, nothing more and nothing less. And that's the truth, because God sees us as we are, but do we see ourselves with eyes that can come before him and humbly ask his help? I love a comment from C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis said, humility is not to think less of oneself, but to think of oneself less. So maybe out of this message today, we can take away that God loves us in our brokenness and our woundedness. And I even want to say the word, our dirtiness. Sometimes we feel that our lives has created us in all of these areas, and therefore we try to be super clean, snow white. But come before him and let him transform you so that deep in your heart there is an amazing makeover happen. I give you thanks for listening, tuning in. I look forward to seeing you again next week. God bless you.